For me, depression is like being in self-destruct mode. Only there's no off switch. Or maybe there is, but you're stuck in a pit of pure darkness, with no way of knowing of where that switch is. I don't feel depressed all the time. It usually lasts 3 to 4 days, although it can vary, and during this period it feels like everything's awful. I think I'm useless. I'm letting everyone down. I can't do anything right. And sometimes extremely dark thoughts pollute my mind, like how much easier it'd be if I didn't wake up the next morning. These are all examples of warped thoughts, or distorted thinking, where your brain tends to magnify your problems and fail to acknowledge any positives. I could not stress enough how difficult it is to go through everyday life with a mind full of thoughts like these. Mental health is no joke. This documentary is all about one type, and that's depression. I'm going to try to break down all the stigmas attached to mental health. But before I give you more info, here are some types of mental illnesses. Depression, anxiety and panic attacks, anger, and bipolar. There's so many more. In 2013, 6,233 suicides were recorded in the UK for people aged 15 and older. Of these 6,233 people, 78% were male and 22% were female. Between 2003 and 2013, 18,220 people with mental health problems took their own life in the UK.
My name is James Hare and I do not have any mental illnesses like depression or anything like that, no.
My name's Rachel.
My name is Sophie Russell.
I haven't personally dealt with mental illness, but I have had many friends who have had them like depression, and I've had to help them through the getting better process.
Yeah, I'm currently dealing with depression and anxiety.
I have had depression. I think when I was younger I had it.
I feel depression is like sadness, but like a really extreme level where like you can't control it and nothing will make you feel better.
I think it's quite hard to describe what it feels like to have depression because it's one of those things you just can't explain it until you've been through it. It's basically just, for me, a feeling of like utterly being helpless and useless and rubbish and just bad at everything.
It felt like no one was really there, like you would feel invisible one day and then the next day it would either go worse or stay the same and it would just keep moving.
Mental illness can affect someone's social life by like blocking them out. Like it make like their friends won't like them anymore. That's what they feel like, or they just don't want to be around anybody. They want to be alone, and they can like lose friends through that. And then,
I wish I could say that it hasn't affected my social life, but I mean, I've had it for quite a long time now, since probably about August last year. And my social life this year has been nothing like my social life last year. So it makes me feel like I don't have any confidence socially. It makes me feel like no one wants to be with me. And also it kind of puts up this barrier between you and other people, because you feel like no one else will understand what you're going through. So you kind of don't want to let yourself be vulnerable around them like you normally probably would.
It did affect my social life because with it I think I had no self-confidence at all, and I felt that everyone wouldn't like me, so I didn't really talk to many people when I was younger.
On the 18th of March 2016, I went up to Norwich to support my friend's band who were playing a gig at a local tequila bar called Gringo's. This gig was in aid of a mental health charity called Mind. Mind helps raise awareness of mental health. They can give you everything you need to know and can help you if needs be. It was great to see a community of music lovers helping and supporting people who suffer from mental illness.
I'm Matt Beecham. I put on gigs under the name of Rad Times Promotions and raise money for the mental health charity Mind. Yes, that's pretty much why why I now raise money for mental health through my gigs. I used to do it a lot, but they were all just free, all of my gigs. And then I got ill and I stopped doing gigs for probably, it's just over a year. I just messed myself up and stopped doing it. And then when I got back into it, I thought I wanted to do something to help other people struggling with that and incorporate it into what I love doing.
Yeah.
Like, it's a little round something that help as many people as possible. Mind's an amazing charity. It's probably the best charity in the UK for mental health, I reckon. I'm not really sure of the exact one. I can't name anything off my top of my head that they do like specifically, but I just know they are the top for things helping people with mental health. They are definitely the best in the UK.
Well, some people think like, oh, they're just in a mood. They say they've got depression, but really they don't. But I think if somebody says they've got depression and they really mean it, you have to take it seriously. Even if it's like a false alarm, you have to really take it seriously. And yeah.
I think there are a lot of stigmas that are attached to mental illnesses like depression and anxiety. I think it's hard to pinpoint them because mental illness isn't always something that's talked about openly, but I think there's always been a kind of stigma, particularly with depression, about people just doing it for attention, like people who self-harm and use that as an escape from depression. That's a kind of assumption some people make, and that's part of the stigma.
The stigmas that I hear most about depression is that people are only doing it to be the centre of attention, which is completely utter bullshit. Am I allowed to swear? Sorry.
I don't think medication can really help mental illness. I think it's more of a long time process. Like medication might help, might make them think it's helping, but really it's not.
So you don't believe that if they go to doctors and they're prescribed for like a drug, it won't help them be more relaxed or less anxious?
I think for like short term it might, but for long term it won't help. It'll always come back.
Been on medication, like antidepressants, which I've had mixed success with.
No, I didn't have medication. And I think it does help sometimes, medication, but then it's putting it off. And the only way it's going to be really resolved is if you kind of face your demons.
Medication is good at the right time. If it's a last, I think it should be a last resort. Like, a lot of it is to do with the people you're around, your surroundings. I think medication is something that sometimes it can make you worse. It's about timing, and it's about how bad you are. Like, it definitely should be a last resort.
After I recorded my interviews, I realised there was mixed emotions with medication and mental health. There are pros and cons of it, but that's like anything. And overall, with my experiences with family and friends, I believe that it depends on how far you've been through this and how bad you really are. Sometimes it can help, slowly but surely, but on the other hand, it doesn't. And it's really unlucky when it doesn't help, but it can also bring those people down. Like, they feel like it should and could have worked, but it didn't, and give them a bit of false hope, which is quite sad. I still think there's no harm in trying things and trying to help yourself and getting better. No matter what you do, every step that you take forward is progress, and that's what you need. You need progress. And once you have that, you'll start to feel yourself picking up, and you will get better. No matter what you do, you will get better. There is that end goal, and you are going to reach it. You just need to get there, and you can do it. All of you.
My one thing to say to someone who has depression would be, it will get better. I know they probably wouldn't think it, and they probably think, I can't deal with it, but if you stick with whatever course you're doing or going to counselling, just stick with it and eventually it will get better.
I guess the one thing I'd probably say to someone in my situation, as a lot of other people are, would be just to carry on. That's all you can really do. You can't be impatient, you have to just wait it out, you have to just go with the flow to some extent, and it's hard and not everyone will get it, and you'll feel like your world's crumbling around you at times, but you just have to carry on.
If I was going to say anything to help people, I would say talk about it, because people kind of put it onto a side and like put it on a shelf and go, oh no, it's nothing, it'll go away. But you have to talk about it, because if you don't talk about it, it's not going to get resolved.
The most you can say is really just stick in there. Like, you just got to keep going at it. Like, sometimes it can get worse before it gets better. You just got to keep going at it, because it will get better. It will. I didn't believe it at all, but it will. It does happen. It's just sometimes it can take perseverance and time.